Hello and welcome to the Sci-Fi Collective. I'm Wayne.
And I'm Jude, and we're back again to watch. Well, not watch. We have watched episode 4 of the Orville.
Yep, that's it. To give you our initial thoughts and reactions to the episode. I think we're both at the point where we haven't had a chance to actually discuss it until a couple of days after watching it.
Yeah, a
So
bit behind compared to other weeks.
yeah, but
Not that much.
no, not that much, not that much. Um, Once again, I think the Orville's going from strength to strength. I enjoyed this episode.
I thought it was brilliant. Much like I think I was saying last week, it had a very Trek feel and arguably very TNG, but it felt
Mhm.
like it just went that bit further again. Like
Mhm.
the same sort of themes, but um, they just pushed the envelope with certain things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Before we get any further, just once again, if anybody's watching this, remember we are going to be spoiling the entire episode.
Yeah,
So if you don't want the episode to be spoiled, please don't watch.
yeah.
Um.
We had a tiny bit of a continuation with Bortus and Clyde's
Mhm.
story, where Bortus, like, he's not happy, and Clyde's just winding him up, so he goes to work early, which I just thought was funny, just seeing it
Yes.
from that point of view, but
And also a nod to Trek there because Clyde asked the computer for um, what would you call
comfort
it?
food.
Comfort food,
Yeah,
and it gives him Rocky Road.
yeah,
So obviously, any TNG fan knows that Deanna Troy's go-to uh, comfort food was always chocolate ice cream.
yeah, definitely.
So
Um, but yeah, it doesn't center on that this week. It just
no, it's a
just
byline at the beginning.
yeah,
It's a nice intro to
that's
the
the word, yeah.
episode.
But yeah, we have a sort of story which is mainly based down. It's not a planet, is it? It's a bioship, is what they call it, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, when they first found it, because obviously it wasn't being picked up, and then they approached it, um, the externals almost look Borg.
Total. Well, the first
The
shot of it, the
first
very
shot.
first shot where the Orville is right next to it, and it's like a cross between like the Borg and Star Wars, like doing the reveal
Hmm.
of the enemy ship, and just showing you how massive it is.
Though what I did think was, fuck, you got really close to that ship before stopping.
Yeah, really, really close.
They were only like about 400 yards away.
Yeah, I've not rewatched
Surely
the
you saw it
episode,
before
but
you got there.
I can't remember what they were talking about before they're suddenly on it like that. But
Hmm.
but yeah, I've got to admit, when they first went in, I was totally expecting like a Borg rip-off at first. I was
Hmm.
just like, this is too similar to the Borg. Like, what the hell are they going to have inside if it's not something Borg-like? But I was glad that I was wrong. I was glad I
Yeah,
was wrong.
yeah, no, exactly. But also, I just thought it was a really interesting concept because obviously uh, Trek has always said like the early ships going between stars, and that would have had to have like supported life and like basically had like a generational ship,
Yeah, that's what you call
as
it.
it
Yeah,
were. Um, but this one just took generational ships to a whole new
totally. They've been going
level.
so long that they've not only forgot what they were, but like the people that have put themselves in power
Hmm.
kind of don't want to admit to anything outside of this little bubble. Well,
Hmm.
big bubble that they're all living in.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Oh.
um, Did you notice a TNG, an ex-TNG guest star as a guest star on this?
Okay,
And
well,
if
obviously, I noticed Liam Neeson at the end.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I love seeing Liam Neeson. I didn't know he was coming, which that's
No, I didn't
something
have a
that's
clue.
always peed me off in Star Trek is the fact that at every beginning of every episode it says guest starring, and it's like, oh for
Hmm.
fuck's sake, now I know that person's gonna be in it, and they didn't put his name at the beginning. I'm glad they
Hmm.
didn't.
No, I was glad because I thought that was nice because I didn't have a clue that he had done uh, the Orville at all. So, no, I didn't. Who was it?
Um, the actor's name is I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, but it's Robert Nepper.
Hmm.
With a K, so that's why I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. He was the main bad guy in this episode. He was the one who
Okay.
didn't want to admit, that there was anything outside of the bubble, and he was the one doing the torturing of
Hmm.
what's the name? What's the name? I can't remember her name now.
Oh,
Is her name
Mercer's
Kelly?
ex,
I've got Kelly on.
Kelly. I'm sure it is.
Anyway, yeah, that actor, like I know him well for a role that he plays in a series called Prison Break,
Oh yeah.
which is sometimes good, sometimes bloody awful. But his character, Teabag, was like the best thing about that show.
Hmm.
He's just like a horrible, horrible sort of rapist type bloke who's just manipulates people. It's just so nasty.
Hmm.
But he just played the role so well. Um, yeah, he did a good job in tonight's, this episode of The Orville too.
Yeah.
But no,
Oh
he was
yeah.
in season one of TNG, and he was supposed to marry Troy, and he kept
Okay.
drawing pictures of this girl that he thought had been in his dreams, but turned out to be a real person.
I know
Do you
exactly
remember
the
that one? I
episode.
cannot
Yes.
remember the name of the episode or the
Hmm.
character name or anything. I'm sorry, but
No, I do remember the episode. Oh,
and
yeah, no, I wouldn't have ever pinned that, but I'm awful for remembering
as good a actor as
things
he
like that.
is, and he definitely deserves to be cast in all sorts of things. That guy, like, I
Hmm.
have to wonder if that's why Seth put him in again
Yeah.
because of his
Oh,
love
I
for.
would have thought so.
Yeah,
I would have thought so. Also, with with continuations as well, we get the second week running of the Doctor getting hit on by the glob of snot.
yeah, yeah. We never really talked about that much or at all. I don't think.
No, though he did touch on a joke that we've always made between ourselves about Odo.
Yes, yes, he did. Yeah, it was very good.
So
You would never get that on track.
I'm hoping that there is a payoff
Yeah,
with these scenes at some point.
yeah.
Oh dear, I can imagine it. Oh dear, definitely. Um, yeah, no, it's Commander Kelly Grayson.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize. Like anyone listening to us, like it's just taken me a while.
Mhm.
But
Well, no.
I can do that for years. Like Game of Thrones, I still people call people like that guy with the beard, that guy who always wears black. You
Yeah.
can still watch a show and enjoy it and get through it like that sometimes.
Oh yeah. No, don't worry. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. And it took me that long to find out from Google. So
Yeah.
don't think don't think I'm any better.
Yeah.
Oh, I did enjoy once again. Orville just knocking it out of the park with the visuals for the show because the internals of the ship where it showed like how big the ship was before going into the habitat zone
hmm
was pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, great. Yeah, continuously awesome visuals with this show.
Hmm. And then also it was a traditional sort of Trek episode, where like almost once again TOS-ish. We go down to a planet and it's you know that something's wrong. It's not as it seems, though in this case they know that it's a spaceship heading towards a star.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this episode, no offense to, Trek or whatever, but
Mhm.
a lot of it, you knew where it was going before it was going, 'cause you're so
Mhm.
used to it as a Star Trek fan. But the journey was still fun. It still worked. Nothing
Yeah.
dragged or anything. It
No.
still flowed perfectly well.
I think it worked perfectly well. We had a fair few like firefights and stuff going on. I thought it was good, and also I once again like almost political comparisons being made by the Orville as well
Hmm.
about members of different uh, religions and that being ostracized
Yeah.
by governments and that. So definitely Orville continuing on in the Trek vein of comment making social commentary.
The one thing that I did think about while watching this episode, which is there's no prime directive type thing for
Hmm.
what are they even called in this? The Union of Planetary whatevers.
Yeah.
Um, they haven't mentioned anything like that, and I think that's got to be a good thing.
Hmm.
Again, just like saying, well, I've spoken before about, I think that's one cool thing about the Orville is that they don't have to have the handcuffs on that they had
No.
from Gene Roddenberry and Rick Berman and CBS
Hmm.
had over previous Trek series.
Yeah. No, I think that it definitely does free up things to explore in slightly different ways
Yeah,
as well. I think once again the humour in this episode was spot on. It wasn't over the top. It was in the right places. It hit the right notes.
yeah,
Um, I think for me personally, it was another strong episode.
totally. Yeah,
Once again, discussing visuals. I thought it was cool the sunroof scene.
yes, very cool. Where they've basically gone up to the cockpit or whatever you want to call it of the ship, and um, it's either one or two members of the community has
Hmm.
seen the video of Liam Neeson, who he's called Captain whatever, and it's the name of the who they've been led to believe is God, basically.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the guy's name. Sorry.
Hmm.
It's because we've left it 24 hour, literally 24 hours from when me and you have watched it, and that's all it
Yeah.
takes for us to forget all these little details.
Oh, without watching things through for a second time, it's absolutely forgivable.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, as you say, they press the button to open up the skylight thing, and they're all basically seeing stars
Hmm.
for the first time ever, and yeah, very well done.
Yeah. Doral.
Doral, yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Doral. And well, once again, I find it another interesting commentary about how easily a people can create a religion out of uh, misrepresenting information.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I'm glad there was nothing to do with Earth in this as well, which there was so much of that in TOS that's always
Hmm.
bugged me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's no Earth whatsoever in this.
Yeah.
And though
Oh,
I thought it was an interesting comparison that at the beginning, um, uh, Boss's partner
Clyde.
decided, and like as yeah, it was when he asked to watch something comfort wise, the computer showed him The Sound of Music,
Ah,
And
that's what it
then,
was. I knew it was some sort of musical thing.
yeah, no, I love The Sound of Music.
I
And
know so many people do. I always try not to be in the room if someone's watching it. I've never
the
watched it all
thing
the way
is, I
through, but
never, I never watched it as a kid.
yeah.
It was something that I got introduced to as an adult, and I absolutely adore it. Um, but then the visuals of the inside of the ship were very Sound of Music-y. They were full of like green, luscious hills.
Okay, yeah, I guess I can see your connection. Yeah, that maybe that was intentional.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was. So, and also, I, fe- I just found it interesting that they had combustion engines. They had petrol cars inside there. I don't know where they would have obtained the fuel other than from the ship.
I don't know. I mean, there could be some sort of other fuel source, I guess, but I don't know. Hadn't really thought
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, yeah. Just a thought that I had.
I don't know how deep, the ground is, how far that goes
Well, you
down.
wouldn't have fossil fuels because nothing's been there to create the fossil fuels over millions of
Yeah, but
years.
unless it was put there artificially, like knowing that people would do that, think, the same way that people do on Earth. I don't know.
or or just maybe at the one of the walls of the area there's a big
Tap.
socket where they siphon out the fuel.
Yeah.
Uh, Still
Oh, I liked
interesting.
something just popped into my head. What I remember what I did see. It's Isaac, isn't it?
Mhm.
Is the droid type character. Like he opened a door, but when he did it, his fingertips came off and had like CGI wires come out the end of his thing. I thought that looked
Yes,
cool. I like that.
that did look cool, and also uh, just as an interaction and a humor piece. Um, when what was it? What's his name? When one of the helmsmen called Isaac a dick,
Oh yeah, he
and
kept saying he was like,
he
"Oh,
done
this is a
the
compliment."
the
Yes.
Dacer thing.
Yeah.
He done the Dacer thing. 1 second, and then compute it. Well, no, the captain sent him over the files, and he's like,
Yeah.
men take great pride in their dick, so this must be a compliment.
Yeah. No, I like that running joke. It comes up like 2 or 3 times throughout the show.
Mhm.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
Seth MacFarlane's definitely very good at payoffs, having callbacks to things earlier in the show.
Yeah.
So he does that every episode so far.
Mhm. And they're still managing, like the whole crew are managing to always talk about his relationship with Kelly
Mhm.
and the affair and who was in the right and stuff.
Mhm.
I never said it on that first episode, but I did find that amusing, that scene. Did find that funny. There was so much to take in with that pilot episode,
Mhm.
but I don't think I ever mentioned it. When he catches her in bed with
That
this
was one of
blue
the only
alien,
things that I did find genuinely amusing.
where he
The
looks at him and then like just all this blue splooge just comes out of his head.
Yeah.
I
No,
did. I enjoyed that.
yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, you're right. And also another thing we haven't actually touched on in discussing Orville at all is I think we still haven't actually discussed the opening credits.
No, I think you're right. That's another thing that we just didn't manage to bring up because we've been
Mhm.
talking about Discovery and other videos and had other stuff going on. But yeah,
Mhm.
very, very TNG again.
I would say almost like very Voyager.
Well, I, they're so similar to me, those two show openings.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they
TNG's
are.
just the Enterprise flying past really fast.
And stuff,
And
other
stuff.
things, shooting stars and whatnot.
okay, there's shooting stars. No, this isn't. The opening credits are definitely far more Voyager. I mean, hell, the comet. And, yeah, for me, I think it's yeah. Once again, it's definitely very. You know exactly where the source material has come
I'm
from,
gonna
where
have
it's
to go.
been inspired by.
I'm gonna go and compare the three after doing this. I think.
Oh, you definitely should.
Yeah.
What's your general thoughts, dude,
I'm
on this
still
episode?
loving the Orville. This is great. It's definitely rewatchable as well. You know, just
Mhm.
like all my favorite Trek. Like I can see myself uh, rewatching this. Like you know, just putting the series on, just putting the
Mhm.
whole series on and just let it go. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's building everything as well, building characters, building story, and
Mhm.
yeah, very enjoyable.
Yeah. No, definitely, definitely, I did, and also one other TNG-esque part of the story as well that we forgot to touch on is that the ship gets a distress call and has to leave the crew members.
Oh yes, it did. Yeah, we totally forgot that.
Yeah, unaware. So yeah, so once again, like the crew members can't get hold of the ship, but they've left a beacon, a buoy, to let them know that they've gone off to save someone from the krill and that they'll be back soon.
Mhm.
So once again, that was a very um, TNG trope.
Totally.
So, but yeah, no, I think for me, as you said, I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the rest of the series goes.
Me too. Do you know
So,
what I've just noticed? You
what's that?
cut this out if you want. But in about a week's time, we've got Red Dwarf coming back on TV in the UK.
Shit, yeah.
So much going on in the world of like cool sci-fi
Mhm.
space-based shows.
No, definitely,
We're so spoilt
definitely
right
that.
now. I'm so glad to be this spoilt right now as we are.
Mhm. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, especially after going so many years with a void.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's we're absolutely spoiled, and that is for sure. So, let us know in the comment section below, guys, what you've been thinking of the Orville. Did you enjoy this episode? Remember to give this video a like and subscribe. If you want to support us, head on over to our Patreon, which is in the description below. And if you want to chat with us, also in the description, head on over to our Facebook page or Twitter and give us a shout, and we'd love to hear from you. So thanks for joining this episode, and until then, we'll see you next time, you dicks. Remember, it's a compliment.